My name is Karthik Paul. I'm working as a senior application engineer in Beacon. So I have been working in Beacons since past 2 years, where we have been using 3D Experience SolidWorks. We are trying to understand our customer needs according to what problems they are facing. We are suggesting them proper solutions for them. And for those of you who doesn't know Beacon, we are the largest reseller for SolidWorks, and our head office is located in Bangalore, and we are also located in other places like Pune, Chennai, Ahmedabad, and so on. So welcome everyone to this webinar on 3D Experience SolidWorks, the next gen upgrade to SolidWorks. So before I start this webinar, I actually want to take you through two different quotes given by a few famous people, that is from Cisco Systems, the CEO, John Chambers. He has said that at least 40% of all the businesses are going to die in the next 10 years if they don't figure out how to adapt to new technologies. And from Saul Berman from IBM, he has stated that the next 5 years will be more disruptive than the previous 15. This is because a lot of technology that comes 3 years ago is going to be obsolete. So basically, this is what we are facing right now. The new technology that is coming into the market is very rapid. And the thing is, we need to adapt to these new technologies in order to move forward, in order to be more competitive in the market, so that our products are going to stand out compared to others. So that's what 3D Experience SolidWorks is all about. So I will take you through it one by one. So this is our agenda for today, where we will be discussing what is 3D Experience SolidWorks. Then I will take you through a customer case study, and I will show you the entire solution. Then we'll have a little bit fun with 3D Experience. And finally, I will tell you what is 3D Experience SolidWorks and how it makes it better than regular SolidWorks. So we'll discuss a little bit upon the advantages and everything. And finally, we will summarize it in a few notes. So to start off, what is 3D Experience? So what is 3D Experience? 3D Experience SolidWorks is a new avatar of SolidWorks. So there are some added advantages to it. There are some portfolios added to it, which is going to make it a lot better than your regular SolidWorks. So to compare it with, what is 3D Experience? So 3D Experience is a platform. So we will be discussing on what this platform business model is and how is it going to be helpful. So before I start discussing on it, I would like to know a little bit about the attendees who are joining this session, and I would like to know how much they know a little bit about this platform concept. So I'm going to launch a small poll where you can quickly just vote out so that I can understand what is the crowd over here. So the first question is, do you know what is meant by a platform business model? So you can directly answer it over there so that I just kind of know how many people know about it, how many people are not knowing about it, and how many people are not sure on this particular concept. So I will wait for 30 seconds so that you can quickly go in, and then I'll discuss you what the crowd is all about and how the people have responded to me, and then we will move ahead. So far, what I can see is 30% of the people have said yes, they know what a platform is. 41% of the people have said no, and 32% of the people have said not sure. So we have a very mixed response when it comes to this particular poll. Not everybody is aware of this particular concept. It's fine. Anyhow, we are going to discuss on it. So I'll be closing this particular poll. And then let me launch one more additional poll so that I can use this in order to make you better understand what a platform is. So I'm just going to launch this question. So this is a very simple question. I want to know which app you use a lot in your smartphone. So you can use any of these particular applications, or the fifth option, none, I don't use a smartphone. Let's see who doesn't own a smartphone right now. So I can see a lot of people are there for Instagram. 5% people have said that they don't use a smartphone. Okay, fine. And 61%, around 50%, let's assume, there for Instagram. 22% have said for Facebook. 16% have said PhonePe. I guess nobody uses Uber or Ola because it just is at 0%. Anyways, so let me just close this poll, and then we will discuss on this particular concept. So what exactly is a platform? So all these applications that you have ticked in your poll questions, All of these applications are an example of a platform. It could be Instagram, it could be Oyo, it could be Facebook, Uber, Amazon, Google, Airbnb, and PayPal. Now, why is it called a platform? Let's discuss that. So over here, if you take a look at this particular Airbnb, Airbnb is a hotel booking application, right? It could be even Make My Trip, it could be even your Oyo applications. So what it actually does, it doesn't own any of the hotels that you usually book. Basically, what it does is it is a communication platform where you communicate between the hotelier and yourself, and you do a booking through the application. That's why it stands out as a platform. A platform is a business model where it focuses much more on the communication part of side of things and makes it much better. Even if you take a look at Uber, which you will be dependent upon for going to your regular offices or commuting from one place to another, they don't own any of the cars, but it allows you a platform where you can book a cab from one location to another location, and it is done very easily, where you can even have the map and everything going on, right? The same goes for Amazon. Whatever that you're ordering, it's a common platform. And the same goes for PayPal or PhonePay or Google Pay, whatever you're using. Because nowadays, if you take a look at whatever transactions that we are doing, it's usually 100% of the time cashless. Because right now, at this point of time, I don't have any cash in my bag. I just carry my phone around. So, what is common about all these applications? The thing that is common about all these applications is that it's a platform business model. So a business model that lets you connect and exchange values and allows you to improve within the organization at the same time outside the organization is what we would like to call a platform. So Dassault was thinking this platform business model, if you take a look, it's been with us for the past 10 years, ever since we have been using a smartphone. So all this connectivity, all this data exchange that's happening, we can make it even better if you take it into our work life. Just like our personal life, it's enhancing the same way we want to enhance our work life. So that is what the 3D Experience SolidWorks is going to do for you. So what do you get in a 3D Experience SolidWorks? In 3D Experience SolidWorks, you will get a platform-based approach. The entire 3D experience is built on a platform so that each and every person is going through the same ecosystem in their work life. Then we have a software as a service. We also have platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. We also provide collaboration and connectivity between independent silos. So suppose if you are a person who likes to travel a lot, but at the same time you would like to do certain designs without thinking much on the hardware side, we have a solution for that also. So in 3D Experience, we have apps for each and every role. What we mean by that is, suppose there's a designer, okay? And any common designer is going to use SolidWorks. Now for them, 3D Experience has a set of customized applications for them to do SolidWorks designs. Suppose if you are a field engineer, you like to visit a lot of clients. At that particular time, we have a set of browser-based applications for you to use so that it's not hardware dependent and you don't have to carry around a very bulky laptop or anything like that. Suppose if you're a manager is somebody who is not going to use SolidWorks a lot. At the same time, he would like to review all the designs and do the approval process. For that particular scenario, we have a different set of customized apps. So according to what role you are performing in your particular industry, we have a set of customized applications for that particular purpose. So what does this 3D experience basically do? Look, when we are talking about an organization, ideas and innovation comes from each and every nook and corner of the organization. It's not that only the design team is going to do all the ideation work. A lot of feedback comes from the sales department. A lot of feedback comes from the marketing department. So how to gather all this intelligence and all these values that is getting built up from each and every corner of the organization? That is also where the 3D experience is going to come into picture. Even if you have ideas to be bought up from different organizations, that is also possible. So gathering resources in one organization and a part outside from the organization is also a part of what this platform is doing. Okay. And in the end, what we envision the platform to be. From the top level of the management, that is from the CEO, stakeholders, engineering to customers, sub-suppliers, sales, and everybody can be connected to this common platform that is the 3D experience. and every person is going to have a set of his own applications that is customized for this purpose. Okay, with that, let's take our customer case study. Now, in this case study, we are going to take a look at this particular company called as BioAdapt, who are basically taking care of bionic limbs, okay, for adventure sports and everything. So this is an actual company that is existing, and they have been using 3D Experience SolidWorks for quite a long time, and they have used multiple applications of 3D Experience in order to go through their regular work life. So what we are going to take a look at today, we will see how 3D Experience SolidWorks is comparing to your normal SolidWorks. So we'll be doing a modeling design using the 3D Experience SolidWorks part. So you will see how similar it is to your regular SolidWorks. And then we will also do some drafting on top of it. And finally, we will take it into the assembly level, where we will assemble the components into the main assembly. And finally, we will also discuss a little bit about the design applications that is available within the platform also. So suppose you want to use a browser and do your designs, we have an option for that, and we can do it. So what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at two different people who are working in this company. One, the first engineer that you can see is a desktop engineer. He regularly works from his office. He has a constant use for SolidWorks and he regularly uses it. So we are going to give him an application that is going to utilize SolidWorks. The second designer is going to be a field engineer. So she likes to visit clients often, and she cannot carry her entire desktop, right? So for that particular scenario, we have a set of browser-based applications that she can do in order to do her designs. So this is the case that we are going to take a look at, and we will see how these two people are collaborating among themselves, how they are exchanging ideas, how they are doing all the processes that is going on in an organization. So let's take a look at the first person, that is the desktop engineer. So let me introduce you to the user interface of SolidWorks. So this is my own platform. So here you see there is an user ID and there is a password. Now this is your ticket into getting into the platform. That's like your own personal login scenario. Okay, so once I log in into my platform, you will see that I am going to be greeted with a dashboard. Now, dashboard is a space where you can put all your common applications or all your common widgets for whatever roles have been granted to you. Okay. For example, there are like 4 different tabs over here, and in these each of the tab, I have put widgets. This is one widget, this is another one, and this is another one. So widgets are basically like how in your Android phone and iPhone, whatever you commonly use, you put it in your platform as a widget. The same way you can do it over here. So these are regularly used applications. So let me discuss a little bit on these particular widgets. The first widget that we have is a community. So if you use mails like Gmail and Outlook a lot, usually when a conversation happens between the manager and the designers, there are a lot of threads that are getting created. So when you want to go through all these threads and find out from the concept to the end cycle of the product, what are the different processes that we followed, it becomes a little bit problematic, or it creates a lot of hurdles. At that particular point of time, we have a community. Now, this community is for your entire organization, where whatever members that you give the access to will be able to see the content over here. So whatever content it is from the concept stage, people can post over here, they can get their ideation down, they can discuss on those particular ideas, and they can innovate further. So that is what this community does, and it's a common community for everyone. You can also have multiple communities based on your requirements, and you can set access rights or visibility rights according to whatever communities that you have. And on the right hand side, I have a 3D search option. Now in SolidWorks, 3D Experience SolidWorks, we have a very good search functionality where you can search on the basis of meta properties, you can search on the basis of who created it, where was it created, all these properties that you can see on the screen, everything on those particular basis, you can search for a particular part. And whatever designs that you're doing in 3D Experience SolidWorks, it automatically saves in the cloud. So you have a cloud access, and the provider for our cloud is AWS servers. So that is Amazon Web Services, and all your data is going to be stored over there. And on my second tab, I have a design application. Yes, this particular design application is something where you can design directly in the browser without having any installation. It's called as Xshape. It is a surface creator. Okay. And on my right side, I have collaborative task, and then I have some relations app over here. Collaborative task, I will discuss in detail during the entire webinar. And over here in the relations app, this is a very cool app because it shows me where a particular part is being used in the payload part. So if you ever wonder for the sub-assembly where and all it is being used in the main assembly, you can directly hover over it and it is going to tell you that these are the places it is being used. It's helpful because if you make one single change in the sub-assembly, you will know where and all in that main assembly it is going to affect. And in my third tab, I have added a few web pages that I constantly use. So you can put web pages in your platform as well. For example, I have put my SolidWorks because I like to go through all the support and everything. And I have also put one more forum over there where I can constantly be updated with SolidWorks forum. And finally, for my data management, for my revision cycles and everything, I have put my own 3D space, which collects all the data of my organization. And on the right side, you can see this is my approval processes going on, where I can release a particular file or I can put it in whatever states that I want. And on the bottom side is a very interesting application. It's called 3D Play. Now, what this particular 3D Play application does is it allows anybody to open that particular part and visualize within a browser. Very helpful for managers because they would like to see the designs, they can have it shown right here. And not only that, you can also have exploded views, you can also do your measurements, you can also put complete 3D markup over here so that you can communicate to the entire team. So these are some of the applications that I constantly use. So I have put it across. So let's see how our team is actually going to use these applications in order to do their regular job. So in the first scenario, we are going to create a small part. So let's take a look at how what is happening. So this particular desktop engineer is going to open his particular platform. And on the left side, there's a community, and you can see how different people have posted different things on this community. It could be videos, it could be web links, it could be ideation, whatever they want, they have posted it. So from on the right hand side, you can see the 3D Play app so that he can completely visualize. And on the left side, there's one member in that particular community who has suggested a few things in order to improve the designs. So the first comment is validate the range of motion on the top part. So we will be doing some kind of, let's say, collision detection on the top part. And on the bottom part, we will be seeing whether this particular pin can be reduced in terms of deflection. So we have to redesign a little bit in order to incorporate that particular pin. So that is our task, and that is what we are going to perform. So in order to check out how this platform compares to your SolidWorks, you can see the SolidWorks on the left side. He did a simple drag and drop, and automatically the files got opened in SolidWorks. So that is how the user interface is. It's very user friendly. All you have to do is a drag and drop, or even if you open the files, it will automatically open in SolidWorks because it detects the existence of SolidWorks. Okay. Now, once you have opened this assembly, let's start by creating a part. So this is 3D Experience SolidWorks fully connected with 3D Experience. On the right hand side, you will be able to see a task pane where the platform is connected. So all these things can be done directly using SolidWorks itself. So the user interface is very similar to SolidWorks. Actually, it is the SolidWorks that you actually love and care. And over here, you can put your fillets, and we are creating a few holes using our standard hole wizards. And after placing a few of the holes, we are going to put some additional geometry so that the pin can be incorporated in this particular designs. Okay, so we are extruding it, all those things, part modeling, everything is happening over here, and we are also putting some advanced roles. Now, since our part is created, what we'll do is we'll also create a drawing out of this particular part. So once the drawing is also created, let's take a look at this bottom area. Now, our old part had a few features that we would like to bring into this particular part. And on the right hand side, this is where the 3D experience is integrated. We are doing a normal search. So in this search, I can further customize it. I can further filter it out on the basis of who created it, what material it is being used, or any of the meta properties that you have defined it. So this is my old part. This is my revision A, and I am doing some changes on top of it. So I'm just going to put it on the left hand side. And these are some of the features that I would like to take it on the part on the right side. So I will do a simple drag and drop, and automatically all the features are being done. Okay. So this is how simple it is. Whatever SolidWorks that you're familiar with, it's the same user interface, it's the same way it works. Okay. Only thing is, whatever drawings that we have created, according to whatever updates that we have done, it is automatically generated. Okay. And further over here, if you see, it marks that the drawing that we have created is a new drawing, and the file that we have worked on is modified, and this particular file is reserved by me. When I say it is reserved by me, that means nobody else can make changes to it while I am working on it. So this is the data management things that are inbuilt into the platform when you're using it. Okay. On top of it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to release this particular file after saving it. So whatever modifications that I have done, nobody else will be able to work on it, and I'm just going to save it. And then I will release the file so that if other people want to work on it, they can now hop into it and they can start making the changes. Fine. So the data management, whatever that you're seeing and whatever you're familiar with, is directly inbuilt into the platform. So whatever designs that you're doing, everything will have the revision control, everything will have reserving functionality, and whatever approval processes that you're following, that is also inbuilt into this particular platform. So data management completely built into it. Fine. So next, we will take a look at how assembly and validation is happening in this particular model. So let's open back our designs again. So on the left side, that's the part that I want to put it. So I'll drag it on the right side. I'll just mate it using our quick mates in SolidWorks. And on top of it, I have to put a pin. Now, whatever standard parts that you want to reuse, you can save it in the platform itself, because saving it in the platform will allow you to search a lot faster. Now, if you search for any of the pins over there, you can search on the basis of any of the meta properties or whatever size it is or whoever created it, and whatever configurations in which it is created, everything is going to show. So whichever configuration that you want to reuse, you can directly drag it and you can reuse it over here. Bringing it closer to my designs, it's going to automatically snap over there by making use of smart mates. And on the top part, the assembly also, I'm going to mate it using the smart mates. So it makes my design journey a lot faster and a lot easier when the 3D experience part is integrated into SolidWorks. Because there's an easy method to do data management. At the same time, there's an easy method to search for the files. And there's a lot of other functionalities, which I will be discussing in the further slides. So over here, one more request that was given to us in our 3D experience community was to check the interference during the motion of this particular assembly. So we are going to do that, and using some collision detection, we will figure out how much should be the draft angle at that particular area. So over here, I'm just trying to figure out with these particular parts selected, what is the collision that is happening, and you can see there's a collision that is happening over there. And for this particular collision, I'm directly going to make changes to this particular assembly. Okay, and in this particular changes, I'm just going to change the draft angle from 5 degrees to 12 degrees so that it can accommodate that particular motion. So now that I rotate it around, there is no interference, there's no collision that is happening. Okay, so that satisfies the second need of whatever I've been talking about in the community. And further, what I can do is I can save this entire file back into the platform. So over here, I'm doing a quick search on the drawing part of this particular assembly. So the drawing part is coming directly from the platform, and you can see whatever changes that I've did right now, everything got updated over there. So the only requirement for me right now is saving this back into the community. And on the right side, you can see there are maturity states for each and every files. Some files are in release state, some files are in work. So I have done some modifications. That means I need to put one revision on top of all these files. So I'm just going to click on the files where the particular revision is needed. I'm going to mention one revision comment, and then I'm going to save it back into the platform. So you might be wondering how much data is being used since we are downloading all the parts and we are uploading all the parts. 3D Experience is actually quite intelligent. So the assembly, whatever changes that you're doing, uh, only the changes are getting put back into the platform. It's not putting the entire assembly back into the platform. So the data usage is going to be quite minimum. Okay. From here on out, what we are going to do is we are going to take a look in our coming slides on the field engineer part, how her story goes, because she's a person who constantly visits clients and she cannot carry her entire desktop. So she carries a very thin laptop, and she has to do her design work while visiting one place to another place, right? So we'll take a look at that. So far what we have seen is how the assembly functionalities of SolidWorks goes, and you can see the 3D experience SolidWorks, assembly, part designing, all those things are very similar, and it's exactly the same as how you use SolidWorks. It just makes it better by integrating 3D experience directly into the SolidWorks user interface. Fine. So with that, let's take a look at how the field engineer is going to work making use of this particular platform. So the field engineer's dashboard is this. It's a very common dashboard, similar to our desktop engineer. So you can even customize it according to how each and everyone is going to wish for. So in this particular area on the left side, there's a new idea from the project manager that please design some linkage in order to connect this bionic foot. Okay, so she opens the XDesign app. Now this XDesign app doesn't require any installation, and it works using a browser. Okay, and no matter what hardware configuration that you have, if you can run a browser and if you have internet connection, you can use this design solution in order to generate your part designs, assembly designs, and so on. So this particular XDesign app is running without any kind of hardware requirement. That means you can even use a tablet or you can even use a cell phone in order to do this designs. So touchscreen is completely supported. So if you are a touchscreen user for doing designs, if you want that particular kind of flexibility, you have it. Okay. And since this is only dependent on the net, you can go from one place to another place and you can directly do all your designs. Even if you are into assembly designs, even you can build assembly designs in this particular application. So any kind of field engineers, this is a very important application for them. Okay. And even if managers want to do some quick editing on top of the designs that the designers have done and they don't want to install SolidWorks, they can use this in order to do so. Right. Now, since the design has been completed, this particular field engineer, she is going to create two different tasks to the desktop engineer in order for him to work. That is where the task management application comes into picture. So she is going to give a description for this particular task. She's going to write a few things, what is supposed to be done. She basically wants this linkage to be connected to the assembly. She can mention what is the context for this particular thing. And she can also put a maturity state. She can also put an estimated duration within which this has to be completed. She can also assign the person who is responsible in order to complete it. And she can put the attachments. While searching for the attachments, it's directly searching in the platform itself. Okay, since all your data is stored in the platform, it can be a quick search. And once you put your attachments, you can also put your PDFs, you can also put your Excel sheets or whatever is a supporting document in order to create it. And once that particular task is created, a notification can go to the designer who is responsible for that particular task. In this case, it is going to be a desktop engineer. So he will get a notification within the SolidWorks user interface. And from there, he will be able to see this particular task. The second task that she is assigning is in order to create a surface design for the footers. So both these tasks are assigned to the desktop engineer. So he will be using his desktop, that is his SolidWorks, in order to do this assembly. And you will be able to see how the designs that are created in platform, how it is going to come into SolidWorks and how that functionality goes further, right? So let's quickly move. So the notification has gone to the designer. So within his SolidWorks user interface, he will be able to see this particular notification. And whatever functionalities that you have been seeing so far in the platform using a browser, everything can be done here also. For example, the task management. That particular application can be opened within the SolidWorks user interface also. Okay, so over here itself, he's taking a look at the task that is assigned to him. Since this particular task is an envelope of multiple things, it's an envelope of the duration, assignee, attachments, he gets a clear idea on what is supposed to be done. So from there itself, he's going to open the files. And this is the part that was created using XDesign, that is the online design environment. From there, you can see this is a normal part that got made over there. He's just going to drag and drop it, and he's going to assemble in that particular assembly. To make a copy of it, he's going to put it on the right-hand side using the mirror functionality, and he's going to mirror it. After mirroring it, he is also going to take a look at the motion capabilities of this particular footrest, and you can see how it works. So a lot of things are happening over here. So in order to update everyone on what are the design changes, he's directly going to save using SolidWorks, and you can see it is directly saving into the 3D experience. Now that's a major difference between what is SolidWorks and what is 3D experience SolidWorks. Whatever save is happening, it directly goes into the platform so that everybody stays on top of the page. And over here in the task, he's just going to give a tick mark. He also has a section where whatever changes that he has put, he can attach it as a deliverables so that people don't have to find his files, he can directly open it. So over here, he's just going to give a tick mark in order to say that the design is completed. In order to do the surfacing design, this particular designer is going to open his browser, and there is an application called as Xshape. Now, this is a surface designing application which you can use without any hardware requirements. It is only on the basis of browser without any installations. So using different kinds of primitive shapes, you can start doing your designs. You can scale it up, you can cut it in different cross sections, and then in order to get whatever design that you're achieving for, you can select a few lines and make it straight. At the same time, if you want to cut a few surfaces, you can cut. And it offers the push and pull technique in order to enlarge the surfaces, in order to gather the space that is surrounding. You can even twist it, you can rotate it, you can zoom it, you can cut it, however you want it, you can design it. So this is a very simple technique when it comes to surface designs in 3D experience. Because using simple push and pull techniques, it's very simple to create surfaces. You can even have your draft analysis set up over here, so that on the basis of this particular feedback itself, you can do your designs. So you can see there is some red marks. You have to remove that negative draft over there, and you can easily remove it. So with that visual feedback, you'll be able to do the designs. Once you're done it, you can shell it, and that particular shell is going to be saved as a part file. So you can see it is skipping all the steps of trimming the surfaces, attaching all the surfaces directly from the surface. It is converting into a solid that you can use. So with the footrest completed, what you can do is, what this desktop engineer does is he posts this back into the community. And in the 3D Play app, he can take a visual feedback of it, he can explode it, he can see all the internal parts, he can see, put some markups so that people will understand what he has done. So he's directly writing on top of it. Okay, and he's using a browser in order to do it. So he's going to put a comment over here. New cover has been created for this particular footrest, and he's going to push it back into the community as a response to that particular post. So this is how it works, and this is why community is important, because from the concept stage to the end cycle, it is going to capture each and every change that you're making to this particular design. And 3D experience data management capabilities are even there furthermore. Even if you have this particular 3D experience, you can also do your issue management. And in terms of issue management, any particular person in the organization who is part of a platform can raise an issue in order to intimate the design team, or in order to intimate the person who is responsible to do that. For example, just consider a scenario. There's a purchase department personnel who is not able to figure out when the particular time required in order to get all his stuff right down into the organization, and he has to assemble it. So at that particular scenario, if one part is getting delayed, he can raise an issue to the entire organization. And he doesn't require any of the SolidWorks application, so he has a browser application, and using the browser itself, using his cell phone also, if he wants, he can raise an issue to the design team and he can intimate them. So this is how fast communication can transform when you're using 3D experience. So with that, so whatever we have discussed so far is from the documentation side, how the entire 3D experience is going to help, how the assembly side of 3D experience is going to help, and how the platform side of 3D experience is actually going to help. That's what we took a look at from the start till now. So these are two people who are working for this particular 3D experience, and these are the various processes that they have done in order to communicate. And 3D experience is not something that is restricted only for the designers. Your entire organization can be a part of it. And your entire organization will be able to communicate with each other based on whatever visibility that you're assigned them. For example, a salesperson doesn't need the entire visibility of the geometry, but it will be nice if she can see the designs, and it will be nice if she can mark up, she can give some color options, or she can take the feedback from various customers and convey it back to the design team in a much more better way. So that is a little bit about 3D experience. So our next topic in hand is fun with 3D experience. So since I keep calling 3D experience as a platform, so a platform is always growing. Okay, surely the data management is built into SolidWorks, and surely there is issue management, surely there's a change process, all those things are there. But let's see some of the other aspects of platform that makes it quite unique compared to whatever that you're used so far. Let's see what this particular platform can further provide. So for the first stuff, we have an application that can analyze your market. So there is a role called as social business analyst. In that particular role, according to the market trends, you can understand the market. Basically, let's say your complete dashboard is filled with different graphs like this. And on the top side, you can see there are a track topic that is going on dental equipment field. So for that particular person, that is his industry vertical. And in that particular industry, whatever are the hot topics that are currently running, what are the trending topics, he can directly visualize in his dashboard. He can open it up, he can visualize it, he can read it, go through it. And on the bottom side, there are some analytics going on. Okay. And in this analytics, it says how many documents have been pushed out from different competitors. What are they talking about? What are their common blocks that is going on? On the right side, there is something like people response. There are positive, 69% of positive response, neutral response is 26%, negative response is 3%. So these kind of analytics will be given to you in your particular dashboard, which is further going to help you in order to understand the market, in order to understand the emerging trends and shoot your entire company towards that particular direction. See, this is the power of the platform. There are multiple applications, and that's why I kept on saying there's an application for whatever role that you're performing in the organization. There's also an application which is going to help you in order to manage your projects and resources. So these are whatever I'm discussing in Fun with 3D Experience, these are all add-on roles that you'll have to take it differently. It doesn't come along with 3D Experience SolidWorks because 3D Experience SolidWorks is primarily meant for the CAD design part. So over here, there's one more application which is very helpful. It basically allows you to create your project. You can see as a manager, you will be responsible for understanding the entire project process from the start to the end cycle of it. You'll be also responsible for understanding the entire timeline of the project. Basically, you will be responsible for making sure that the product reaches the deadline at the proper stages, right? So you can have this complete project planning process started out in the project planner app in that particular role, where you can have multiple tasks and you can visualize these tasks using the summary. On the right side, on the bottom part, you can see there is a summary going on. What are the tasks that are supposed to be performed, or how many tasks are getting completed? What are the issues that are happening in that particular organization? What are the risks that is happening in that particular organization? So you will be basically like hovering on top of the entire project, understanding what are the different processes that is going on, and everything is going to be provided to you back into a browser. So all this feedback you're getting from your entire organization. So one more application that I would like to discuss, or one more role that I would like to discuss, is to validate your designs. So further down the line, if you're exploring 3D Experience SolidWorks, and further if you're planning to go further down, we have Simulia with us, which is a Dassault solution, which is a 3D Experience solution using a backend technology. So in terms of validation, if you want to validate your product in terms of durability, in terms of FEM analysis, or if you want to do nonlinear analysis, or even if you want to do fluid dynamics or flow analysis on top of it, we have an entire set of solutions called Simulia running on Abacus in order to help you do so. So that is going to constantly give you advices that is going to help you out in order to figure out how to further improve your designs. Fine. And the best part in this particular thing, the thing that I loved about Simulia is there are two different ways how you can process, because let's face it, whenever you're running a simulation process, it is a very hardware requirement process, and 3D Experience offers you different ways of doing that particular validation. You can either run it using your desktop where you have installed the application, otherwise on the basis of credits, or you can have this credit system or token system, and you can run your entire validation directly on the cloud itself. That is another option that is available in Simulia, right? So hardware, if hardware is a big issue for you, there's a very good application for it. Fine. So that's a few applications that I want to discuss in terms of 3D experience because we are trying to explore 3D experience. I want to make everybody understand that 3D experience SolidWorks is a design solution, but the 3D experience itself is a vast ocean. You can explore it as much as you want. There are different kinds of applications, different kinds of solutions, roles, and everything based on what your individual needs are. So let's discuss back on 3D Experience SolidWorks. So over here, we have the 3D Experience SolidWorks standard. So in this 3D Experience SolidWorks standard, it's the same regular SolidWorks standard, whatever applications are there, whatever capabilities are there. On top of it, 3D Experience is going to be built in. That means all your data management capabilities, all your platforms, dashboards, everything is going to be built in with the 3D Play app and everything. And along with that, you will also have the X Design app. That is the online app where you can directly do your part designs and assembly designs without any installation. That is going to be a part of standard. And then when it comes to 3D Experience SolidWorks Professional, on top of whatever applications are there in standard, you will also get X-Shape, which is a surface creating module in the browser itself. And further down the line, we also have the 3D Experience SolidWorks Premium, where you will get both X-Shape and X-Design. On top of it, you will get some analysis solutions. Just like how analysis solutions were a part of SolidWorks Premium, the same analysis solutions are made a part over here as well. Fine. And finally, I would like to discuss what makes it better than SolidWorks. What makes 3D Experience actually unique compared to SolidWorks? And I have listed out certain advantages, and I have listed out in two different pages. The first page is I'm going to discuss on the basis of from a usage point of view. Suppose you are a designer, from a usage point of view, what are the different things that you are going to notice when you are going to make use of 3D Experience SolidWorks? So the 3D Experience SolidWorks is completely going to be installed from the platform itself. So there is no setup that you have to take it from us, or there's no setup that is going to be available online. You directly go into your platform, you click on the application, it will automatically download and it will install that particular application in your system. So the SolidWorks part is going to be installed in the system, and the 3D Experience part is going to be a tab over there. Fine. This is for the people who are going to use SolidWorks. For the people who are not going to use SolidWorks, it's just going to be just a browser platform for them. So depending on what you require, you can customize your 3D experience and you can go for it. Right? And the second one is easier deployment. Now, suppose there is a scenario that every company faces. Suppose a new designer comes into picture, okay, and he has joined your company right now. So what you usually have to do is you have to take out one serial number that you have, that is your license, and then you will have to go into that particular system. You'll have to install that particular application into your system, and then your designer comes on board, right? And when leaving also, you will have to uninstall that application, make sure you have backed up all the data, and then you are supposed to relieve him out. Now, this is a very hectic process. It usually takes 1 or 2 days, right? Because the data created and the data been getting backed up and the system and all those things, it's hurdle. But in 3D Experience platform, you will be getting access to something called as a platform admin. One person who is going to be responsible for this entire platform. At that particular scenario, what happens is, suppose there is a new designer that is coming to you. What you can do is from your browser, it's completely browser built. From your browser, you just assign a license to a email ID address. So when he joins the company, he will have an email ID address from the company side, right? You just assign that license. The moment he assigns, he is going to get a mail from there. He can put a password, go into the platform, install all the SolidWorks. And the best part is whatever designs that he's doing, it is going to be saved into the platform. So tomorrow when he leaves, the platform admin sitting at any place, anytime, using a browser, he can remove that particular license and he can bring it back to him. And he doesn't have to back up any of the data because all the data is already backed up. And he doesn't have to worry about uninstalling because once the license is removed, they can no longer use SolidWorks. So that is a very important advantage when it comes to the 3D Experience platform. And you will always remain on the latest version. All the updates are directly pushed into the platform, so SolidWorks will automatically install that. The critical fixes are automatically installed, and this makes the entire journey of installation to the retrieval of the license a lot easier because it is going to be completely user-based logins. So user ID, password, that's the login. Fine. And suppose there's a scenario, suppose there's a scenario where a designer comes into place and his system is not working, right? So if you give him a different system, what he can do is he can directly log in over there and he can still keep on working because all the data is stored online and the license is also stored online. So directly put it and install it. You don't have to wait for that particular laptop to get pushed. You can use any laptop and start doing it. Fine. That was from a point of usage kind of scenario. And here, from a platform point of view, what are you getting? So the entire team is getting focused as the single source of information from a single person. So it is avoiding all the conflicts, it's avoiding all the duplication of data, and from a single source, you are able to gather all the information. So if your entire platform, if your entire organization is a part of the platform, everybody can contribute to those particular ideas. Every member is going to get a customized application according to whatever role that they are performing. So this is a very good advantage because it lets you have the option to customize what you're buying into. You no longer have to buy the entire thing. You can see, and if there's a manager, you don't have to assign them sorrows. You can just assign them the platform part, right? So you can customize it according to who is using it. And then there's cloud apps that makes the job of design a lot simple. There are a lot of cloud applications that doesn't require any installation or hardware. You can directly install it in the browser and you can start off your designs. And there are different business tools. Now in the 3D Experience platform itself, there are a few of the design business tools that's available. That is, if you have Excel sheets, there are methods where you can convert those Excel sheets into graphs. Of course, it won't give you the entire market trends. Now that's a separate role that you have to go for. But even Excel sheets can be converted into graphs using 3D Experience SolidWorks in the platform. So that option is also there. And all this data is going to be securely saved into the cloud. So AWS is our service provider. So that is going to be Amazon Web Services. Now, what is the advantage when you are putting all the data onto the cloud? That means you don't have to invest in any servers. You don't have to worry about the IT part of it. You don't have to keep on constantly thinking that, okay, fine, my data is getting over, or we have to upgrade, or my server, is it going to crash or not? Or you don't have to think about every 3 years or every 5 years to upgrade the server. That complete point of picture is moved out. And you only have to just rely on Amazon Web Services where it is going to be securely stored. And I think everybody knows Amazon Web Services is one of the top-notch companies when it comes to cloud. And they are going to save all the data and they are going to take all the headache when it comes to IT, maintaining the servers and everything. And that particular headache is removed from your equation when you're performing this particular organization. Right? So these are some of the advantages when it comes from a platform point of view and from a usage point of view. So in summary, what I would like to say, in summary, PLM is completely and deeply integrated into the platform because 3D Experience understands that this is meant for mechanical, right? And this is meant for 3D designs. It understands that, so it understands the process that we follow. And it is built keeping in mind all these scenarios of product lifecycle management from the concept to the insight, and it provides you a single place to connect all the applications, right? So each and every person is going to be regularly focused in that particular scenario in one ecosystem. They will be able to share the data. They will be able to understand the processes that is involved in the applications. And then it is one unified platform for each and every member of the community. Right. So these are some of the advantages when it comes to platform. These are some of the advantages when it comes to 3D Experience, SolidWorks, and the usage wise and the platform wise. What are the things? These are the advantages. So with that, I would like to open the platform for questions. If you have any questions on the right hand side, there is a chat window over there where you can directly type it into, and I'll be able to see all the questions. I will answer all the questions as per my knowledge. I will answer each and every question that you have. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask me at this point of time, kindly contact me right now. On the right hand side, I think you will see a chat option. In that particular chat option, you'll be able to see. There's a question from Ms. Deepashri. They are talking about that. What about data security and how is AWS? So in terms of AWS, look, you are getting actually the guarantee from three different companies when you think about your data. Because first of all, when your data is going to go into the cloud, it's not directly getting saved on the cloud. It is going to go through some internal processes where it is going to be encrypted and then it is going to be saved on the cloud. And it is assured that your data is getting guaranteed because of two different scenarios that I will explain. The first scenario is you are getting the promises from three different companies. That is Beacon, as the largest value-added reseller. We are guaranteeing that your data is going to be secure. Dassault is also behind it, so Dassault is also going to guarantee your data security. And also, when it comes to Amazon, they are also guaranteeing. So you are getting it done by three different parties. At the same time, AWS recently a small thing has happened. That is in the US, the entire defense organization, they have moved a lot of their data into this particular platform. So they are also thinking about going to the cloud because that is the future. That is how the data is going to be transmitted from now on. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. If you have further doubts on this, we have a PDF application. We have a PDF document which covers all the data securities and what kind of processes we follow in order to secure all the data. I will be happy to share. Fine. The second thing, there's one more question from Mr. Pawan Kumar. He's asking whether the web application is feasible for the assembly. Yes, the web application is feasible for the assembly. I know what you're thinking about. Suppose it's a large assembly. How is the, what is the graphics going to be? Is it going to be smooth? If that is your particular worry, don't be worried about it because it is not using your hardware. Whenever I explained it, I clearly mentioned it's not using your hardware because it basically is using the server that is built in AWS in order to do your processes. So it is basically using their servers in order to compute it, in order to get your data. So that is how it works. It's not user utilizing your hardware. So the system performance is going to be pretty good when it comes to cloud applications. So there is a question from Mr. Sriram. What kind of interface does 3D Experience provide for third-party applications like ERP and SAP? So currently there is no direct way in which we can connect to ERP and SAP, but it's ongoing process. If in the future, since it's a platform, it's always getting built more and more and more. In the future, if there is going to be something that is going to get connected, we will let you know about that. So there's a question from Gaurav. He's asking how, if components are designed in Xshape and Xdesign, how is the feature history going to be generated in SolidWorks? So whenever you're working in the cloud applications, the feature history will also be saved in the cloud application itself. It won't be saved into SolidWorks because let's face it, if you're designing in SolidWorks, you don't exactly require the cloud applications. And if you're designing in cloud applications, you are not going to be much dependent on SolidWorks. In that particular scenario, all the design history for cloud applications is going to be saved over there, and all the design history for SolidWorks is going to be saved in SolidWorks. So there's a question from Mr. Srujan Meka. Is there any intertransferability from other CAD packages so that we 3D experience can so that we can adopt 3D experience instantly? So 3D Experience have different kinds of plugins that has been developed. Even for Autodesk, even for Creo, there are multiple plugins that are available. So if you're using with those particular plugins, the data can be transferred through one scenario to another, and you can have all the data management process in one common ecosystem. So there is one more question from Ms. Kritika, who is asking, what is the storage limit in the cloud for files? Okay. So the storage limit, I can tell you on the basis of per license of 3D Experience. So per license of 3D Experience, you will get 20 GB of storage and 5 GB of internal storage. So both you will be getting. You will getting 20 GB of collaborative storage that you can collaborate across everyone, and 5 GB of personal storage that you can use it for your own particular saves. So suppose if there are 5 different users that are onboarding this particular platform in your from your company, there that is going to be 5 into 20, that is going to be 100 GB of common space or collaborative storage, where people can share the data, they can do revisions and everything. That's a common storage for everyone. And 5 GB each for 5 different users, that is 25 GB of storage for each and every person for their own personal use. So this is the data storage. So there's a question Krupaya, from Mr. Krupaya, and he's asking, uh, can you use SolidWorks and give graphic output which can be open in any other browser and checked by the assigner without buying license? That's a very good question. And yes, it is possible. It's possible in a scenario. Suppose you have the 3D Experience platform and you want to do some markups on top of it and you want to share this file so only the other person can just visualize it. That is being supported in 3D Experience, where the other person can create, he has to create a 3D Experience login ID and password, and without buying a license, he will be only be able to see the designs. He won't be able to do anything else, but he will be able to visualize the designs in 3D, and you will have all the access rights for that particular scenario. Suppose if you want that particular person to share those files further down, which I don't think anybody wants it, you can restrict it down. And if you suppose there are 2 days where you want them to see, and after the second day you want to block that particular link for them to access, you can also block it. So all the authority lies to you, and you can share it, and they will be only be able to view the designs. They won't be able to do anything. Fine. Okay. So there is one more question from Mr. Sriram. He's asking, how do we ensure the data is secure once it is exported out of the 3D Experience platform? Now, look, a 3D Experience platforms, the main reason for its existence is in order to save or secure all your data in the cloud without having the headache of maintaining an IT department or maintaining the IT part of it. Okay, so if you are further going to download all your data and then if you are trying to backup it, I think you will have to backup it on your personal hard drives or whatever other servers. If you have created it where you can store all the data or dump all the files, you can do it. But whatever is data is going to be saved on the cloud. There you can perform all the data management, and I don't frankly suggest you to download all the data and be using it, because that is the purpose of the platform, right? It is to save all the data into the cloud in order to do all your data management, and that is the secured way of doing it. There's one question from Mr. Vignesh: on which level my 3D experience enables for me for SolidWorks 3D SolidWorks Premium user? So as a 3D experience user who is going to use SolidWorks Premium, you will be getting the access for 2 different applications, 2 different cloud-based applications that is a part of the premium license, which is going to be XDesign and Xshape. Now I'm talking about 3D Experience SolidWorks solution, 3D Experience SolidWorks Premium. I'm not talking about SolidWorks Premium. That's a different, and 3D Experience SolidWorks is totally different. Okay. On top of it, you will get access to the entire platform. You will get access to the community. Data management is a part of it, data management, and along with that, issue management is also a part of it. Approval processes are also a part of it. You can have your own workflows and you can set it up. You can reserve your file so that none of your colleagues are working on top of it when you are doing some changes. And further down the line, you can also have the approval processes. You can have revision cycle and everything. So all the data management, what we are going to gather, everything is going to be inbuilt into it. Mr. Kripaya has asked one more question. Instrument models pick and place are available. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question properly. If you just put it down as, if you give me some additional information on what it means by instrument models pick and place, I'll be able to help you out. There's one more question from Mr. Pramod. Is Xshape app same working as surface modeling in desktop? Okay. What I understood from that, Mr. Pramod, what he's trying to convey is the Xshape application works the same way as the desktop application of SolidWorks, that is the normal SolidWorks surface model. No, it doesn't work similar. It works totally different. The Xshape app is something that I seriously love because it makes my job a lot easier. When I'm using surfacing in my particular desktop, there are a lot of things that I have to do. I have to constrain each and every surface. I have to think about all the trimming surfaces. I have to think about, merging all the surfaces. I have to think about combining it, and I have to worry about whether it is going to combine into a normal solid. Now, this entire thing, this entire phenomena is taken out of the picture when it comes to X-shape, because it directly brings me into an environment where I can use primitive shapes and I can seriously push pull surfaces and I can play with it as much as I want. And I don't have to worry about trimming surfaces, or I don't have to worry about merging surfaces, because in the end it turns out to be a solid. So there are a lot of differences when it comes to X-shaped surface scenario and when it comes to desktop surface scenario. And I seriously feel that X-shape is a lot better in many ways when it comes to desktop surfaces, because it seriously makes the job a lot easier, right? Of course, the desktop surfaces are good, but if I have an application that is going to uh, put a new experience for me, convey it in a very simple way, in a very easy and friendlier way, I'm going for that. There's one more question from Mr. Karupaya. He's asking, can we convert to AutoCAD format? Yes, in SolidWorks, just like in 3D Experience Solver, just like your regular old SolidWorks, how you are able to save it in DWG format, the same way you can save it in DWG format in 3D Experience Solvers as well. There's one more thing that I would like to highlight. The 3D Play application that I was showing you in the browser environment, how you can open the files, how you can visualize the files. There's an application for that, right? In that particular application also you can open DWG files without installing any of the applications. Suppose your colleague wants to see one DWG drawing, and he can put it in the platform and he can see it without installing any of the AutoCAD softwares. Even if it's a PDF, it opens. Even if it's a SolidWorks assembly, CAD, even SolidWorks, if you have some other solutions, for example, Composer, its output is SMG. Even that particular SMG will be opening in 3D Experience platform. There's one more question from Mr. Gaurav. All the applications, including SolidWorks, is installed on the cloud or is it installed on the local machine? Uh, so let me clear that particular point out. So when it comes to 3D Experience SolidWorks, the SolidWorks part of it is going to be installed on your local machine. Other than SolidWorks, the platform and the data management and all the communities and everything, that is going to be saved in the platform. Okay, for SolidWorks user, it is going to be installed on the machine, and in the SolidWorks user interface itself, they will be finding all the platform options using that particular this that particular tab. Okay, but for a per person, suppose you are a field engineer and you want to use XApps. For that particular user, there is no need for installation. He can directly use a web browser in order to do all his design process, and he can continue designing using the web apps itself. He doesn't have to worry about SolidWorks. So there are two different scenarios where you can go for. Either you can go for 3D Experience SolidWorks, otherwise you can go for your normal cloud apps and you can start your designs. So you can customize it according to what you want and you can go for it. There's one more question from Mr. Sriram. Where is the files store located in the 3D experience? I'm assuming what you're asking is where is the file stored in 3D experience? So in the 3D experience, there is something called as 3D space, where all the data is stored from the members of that particular organization. Based on what the platform admin is going to give you rights, you'll be able to see certain files, you won't be able to see certain files. Okay, it's up to the platform. So there's one more question from Mr. Karupaya. On giving access alone, he can see the file. Yes, you can customize it in such a way that only while giving access, he will be able to see the files. If you remove the access, he won't be able to see the files. There's also an option where he can see the files, he cannot edit it. You can also give an option where he can see the files and also edit it. So according to how you feel it has to be set up, you can customize it and you can set it up. So there is one more question from Ms. Deepashri. She's asking, will the pricing be as per the SaaS usage? Yes, the 3D Experience SolidWorks is a term-based license. So basically, if you want to use it per year, the pricing will be per year. And if you want to use it for whatever term that you want, we can discuss it further down the line. You just send me a mail and I will further give it to our sales personnel who will further discuss on how this particular license can be provided per annual basis. There's one more question from Mr. Vijay. He's asking, what is the minimum internet speed required for seamless working in 3D Experience Cloud? And the minimum internet speed required is 4 Mbps. And I'll just share you one scenario. There was a program that happened in our company where multiple people were working on a project where 4 or 5 of us, we were using web applications in order to do our designs. And we were using both Xshape, XDesign, and we were working on it. And we worked for around 3 hours using our mobile data because internet was down, so we had to go for it. So we used our mobile data in order to do it, and we were quickly working on it. And the data that it used for 3 hours was 40 MB. That's all it used. It didn't use anything more than that. That's when I seriously loved these applications in order to do my work, because even if the internet is down for a few minutes, you can switch to your mobile data and you can still continue working. And the mobile data internet speed was enough for me to do my designs in the browser itself. There was no lagging that was going on. So that's the minimum speed requirement. It's 4 Mbps, and that's internet speed that is provided in all our cell phones nowadays. I think our cell phones are providing more than that, to be frank. There's one more question from Mr. Karpaya. Cable tray, level transmitter, hookup drawing, extract, isometric extract possible. Sir, we will do one thing. You just send me a mail on my mail ID, which I will share right now. You just jot it down your points in with additional information so that I can get back to you on that. Whatever that you're familiar with in your normal SolidWorks, whatever functionalities it had, everything is there in 3DEXPERIENCE SolidWorks, and it almost works the same way. Okay, location, layout, and cable tray layout can be extracted. Look, if you're talking about creating a layout kind of a designs, that yes, it is possible in doing SolidWorks, and you can create that particular layout, and you can even have a 3D walkthrough through that particular layout designs, if that is what you're asking. There's one more question from Mr. Karpaya. That is, what is the minimum system requirements? So the minimum system requirements, if you're talking about the 3D experience SolidWorks part, then the system requirements is going to be very similar to that of the system requirements of your regular old SolidWorks. Okay, but if you're talking about the web apps, there is not much system requirements. You can use it using any application. You can use it using any of the browsers. Even if you have a tablet or even if you have a normal touchscreen, you can use it. Fine. I don't see any other additional questions over here. So if in case I missed out any of the questions, I kindly request you to just forward me a mail so that I can answer it back to the mail itself. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I'll wait for another 1 minute so that if there is any questions, if anybody has left out on asking something, they can directly ask me. And in case if they are not able to ask, or if I missed out on any of the questions, directly please contact me using my mail ID. We'll get back to you. There's one more question from Mr. Brijo, who is asking, will we get a recording for this session? Okay, sir, we will be providing a recording for this session for all our people who have attended this particular session, and we will provide it to you. I think that's all the questions that we have for now. So if I missed out anything, kindly contact me using my mail ID and we will get back to you. Okay, with that, let me also share my mail ID over here. So I am reachable at karthikpal@beacon-india.com. That's my mail ID in the last. If you have some other technical doubts, you can also contact us using techsupport@beacon-india.com. Or if you have any additional information that you want to know about, you can also contact us using info@beacon-india.com. With that, I'm going to end this webinar. I thank all my attendees for joining this session, for being attentive, for asking me so many questions. Your questions are most welcome. And at any point of time, if you have anything, you can directly ask me. Fine. With that, thank you for your time. Thank you for giving the time for us to explain about this particular solution. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you can apply it in your particular organization. And hopefully this information was something that you can utilize further down. Okay, with that, thank you everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. I'm closing. Just hold on one second. I think I have one question. Can we open SolidWorks files in XDesign? Yes, we can open SolidWorks files in XDesign and you can work over there as well. And I think that was the last question. So I'm going to close off this session. Thank you everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your time. Thank you.